3 years. That's how long I drove a damn truck to save my father. And they spent my money on Elton John tickets. The engine of my rig growled under me, a sound I used to find comforting. Not tonight. Tonight, it matched the anger boiling in my chest. My hands clenched the steering wheel so tight my knuckles turned white. On the passenger seat, my phone glowed with Jessica's latest TikTok post. Her mom and dad, all smiles in front of a Las Vegas stage, golden letters spelling out Elton John behind them. Best surprise ever. Thanks, Mom and Dad. Her caption read. I laughed. A sharp, ugly sound. Because I was the one who paid for those tickets. Not with cash handed over with love. No. With nights spent sleeping in this damn truck stop parking lots. With meals skipped so I could wire another $500 back home. With the dream of med school rotting in some forgotten drawer. And they didn't even invite me. We're not doing anything this year, Laura. Money's tight, Mom had said over the phone, her voice all tired sighs and guilt trips. You understand, don't you? Your father's treatments. I did understand. I always did. That's why, instead of complaining, I sent another transfer. $3,000, the last of my emergency fund. For groceries, I told myself. For Dad's prescriptions. But then came Jessica's TikTok. And the truth, sharp as broken glass. They lied. I pulled over at a rest stop, my breath coming in short bursts. The video played again. My little sister, giggling in a sequined dress, Mom clinking champagne glasses with Dad. All while I sat in a truck cab that smelled of diesel and stale coffee. My phone buzzed. A text from Jessica. Hey, can you cover my car payment this month? Dad's insurance messed up again. That's when I snapped. I threw my coffee mug against the truck's door. The shatter was satisfying. No. I typed it back. Just that. No explanation. Then I blocked her number. For years, I was the strong one. The daughter who dropped out of college when Dad got sick. The one who took a job no woman in our family ever would have considered, just because it paid enough to keep them afloat. But they weren't drowning. I was. And they were using me as a life raft while they sailed off to goddamn Vegas. I scrolled through my banking app. Transfers. Thousands and thousands of dollars, all labeled family. Then I opened my email. To the one I'd been ignoring for months. The community college's acceptance letter for their nursing program. Classes start June 1st. It read. I hit reply. I'll be there. Because I was done being their ATM, and for the first time in 3 years, I was driving toward something for me. 3 years ago, I was sitting in a college lecture hall scribbling notes for my pre-med finals when Mom's call came in. Her voice cracked in a way I'd never heard before. Laura, it's your dad. They found a tumor. The next week, I sat across from a financial advisor at the hospital, watching him tap numbers into a calculator. Even with insurance, out-of-pocket costs for treatment could exceed $80,000, he said, sliding the paper toward me like it was a dinner bill. That night, I dropped out. It's temporary, Dad promised, squeezing my hand from his hospital bed. Once I'm back on my feet, we'll get you back to school. Mom nodded, dabbing her eyes with a tissue. The same hand that still wore the diamond tennis bracelet Dad gave her for their anniversary. You're saving this family, she whispered. I believed them. Getting my commercial driver's license was hell. The trucking yard reeked of sweat and diesel, and the guys made bets on how fast I'd quit. Ain't no princess gonna handle 18 gears, sneered my instructor, Randy, when I stalled the engine for the 3rd time. But by week 3, I could back a 53-foot trailer into a loading dock blindfolded. The paychecks were fat. $5,000 a month after taxes. I kept $5,000 a month after taxes. I kept $200 for gas station food and sent the rest home. My apartment was the truck's sleeper cab. I showered at truck stops, scrubbing cheap shampoo into my hair while other drivers pounded on the door. Dinner was canned soup heated on a portable stove, the metal burning my tongue because I was too tired to wait. Meanwhile, Jessica's Instagram showed her at sorority parties, captioned, "College is exhausting." Blessed. Every month, the requests got bigger. Jessica needs a new laptop for her design program. 1,200. The roof is leaking. 4,500. Dad's medication isn't covered this month. $3,700. I never saw receipts. Last winter, I came home unannounced. The house smelled like pine and cinnamon. Mom had just hosted her book club. You didn't tell me Dad was doing better, I said, staring at him stacking firewood in the yard. Mom's smile froze. Oh, he has good days and bad days. Today's a miracle. That night, I found the insurance statement in the trash. Fully covered, zero patient responsibility. Easter was supposed to be different. I'd driven 14 hours to surprise them, hauling a cake from Walmart in my rig. Mom answered the door in her bathrobe. Laura? We told you we weren't celebrating. Behind her, the dining table was stacked with luggage. Vegas, baby, Jessica squealed, barreling past me with a sequined purse. Elton John's final tour. Dad wouldn't meet my eyes. It's a medical conference for me. The hotel's comped. The lie was so flimsy it hurt. I drove back to the truck stop in silence. That's when Jessica's TikTok popped up. The three of them front row, Mom toasting with champagne. And the caption, "When your parents are the best. Family first." It wasn't just the money. It was the choices. Them choosing Jessica's spring break in Cabo over my textbooks. Them choosing a $5,000 designer wedding dress for her. It's an investment. While I wore thrift store flannel. Them choosing to laugh while I broke my back for scraps of their love. As I block Jessica's number, my phone lights up with Mom's caller ID. I let it ring. For the first time in 3 years, I'm choosing me. The morning after I blocked Jessica's number, I woke up with my face pressed against the cold leather of the truck's steering wheel. My neck ached, and my mouth tasted like stale coffee and regret. But for the first time in years, my head was clear. I opened my banking app and scrolled through 3 years of transactions. Every dollar labeled family stared back at me like an accusation. $128,000. That's how much of my life I'd poured into their pockets. I took screenshots. Every transfer. Every urgent request. Then I opened Jessica's Instagram. Her stories were a highlight reel of everything they'd stolen from me. A boomerang of her clinking champagne flutes with Dad at some rooftop bar. Caption, Pops is cancer-free. Celebrating in style. Posted the same week I'd sent $2,800 for his experimental treatment. A flat lay of her brand new MacBook, Gucci sunglasses artfully draped over the keyboard. Treat yourself. The exact amount I'd wired for her tuition emergency. And then, the one that made my stomach drop, a wedding dress. Not just any dress. A custom Vera Wang, ivory silk pooling around her like liquid gold. Saying yes to the dress and the man. The price tag was still visible in the corner. $5,600. I zoomed in. My hands shook. That was last month's Dad's physical therapy money. I drove home unannounced. Not the house I grew up in. My home, the truck. Mom answered the door in her silk robe, the one I'd bought her for Mother's Day. Her smile faltered when she saw me. Laura? What are you... I didn't let her finish. I shoved my phone in her face, the wedding dress photo glowing between us. Explain this. For a second, she just blinked. Then her voice went sharp. Jessica's getting married. You'd know that if you ever bothered to call. Dad appeared behind her, his face tanned from what I now realized was a vacation. Laura, honey, let's talk inside. No. My voice surprised me. Steady. Cold. Tell me why you lied about the insurance. Silence. Then Mom scoffed. Oh, here we go. The martyr routine. She crossed her arms, her bracelet catching the light. You think money is love? After everything we've done for you? I laughed. Actually laughed. You mean like flying to Vegas while I ate ramen in a truck stop? Jessica chose that moment to waltz in, her engagement ring glinting. God, Laura, it's always about you. Dad was sick. We needed a break. I pulled up the insurance statement on my phone. Fully covered, $0 patient responsibility. Dad's face turned gray. They tried every trick. Guilt. After all we sacrificed for you. Mom wiping non-existent tears. Anger. You're just jealous of Jessica. Dad slamming his fist on the table. Denial. Those screenshots are fake. Jessica deleting her Instagram in front of me. But the worst part? They never apologized. I spent that night in the truck crying so hard I threw up. Not because of the money, because I finally understood. They never loved me. I was just a utility. A walking, talking ATM. And ATMs don't get invited to weddings. At 3 a.m., I did 3 things. 1. Posted every screenshot to Facebook. Transfers, their luxury purchases, the insurance proof. Tagged their friends, their coworkers, Jessica's fiancé's family. 2. Froze all bank transfers. Changed my number. 3. Applied for financial aid using my tax returns. The ones that showed I'd made $60,000 a year, and had $60,000 a year, and had $47,000 in savings. Then I waited. It took 12 hours. Mom's church group started calling her the Grinch who stole Christmas. Dad's boss pulled him into HR. Turns out, medical leave for cancer treatment doesn't cover Vegas pool parties. Jessica's fiancé demanded a prenup. If she'll do this to her sister. But the sweetest justice? The wedding venue canceled. Apparently, fraudulent funding violates their contract. It happened on a Tuesday. I wasn't looking for anything. I'd driven through the night again, exhaustion hanging off my bones like wet laundry, and all I wanted was to drop off a final box of my old stuff at their house. I wasn't planning to go in. Just the porch. One last mercy. The key was still under the fake rock by the garden gnome. Figures. The house was quiet. Jessica had moved in with her fiancé, and Mom had taken to healing at some overpriced yoga retreat. But the smell was the same. Lavender and expensive deception. I left the box by the coat rack and turned to go. That's when I saw the envelope. It had fallen behind the console table, cream-colored and unsealed, addressed in Mom's swirling handwriting. Dear Lizzie. My aunt. The one who'd always treated me like a person, not a piggy bank. My stomach twisted. I don't know why I opened it. Maybe I needed a reason to believe I was wrong. That somewhere under the manipulation and guilt, they still saw me as family. But I wasn't wrong. Lizzie, you've always said Jessica is our golden girl, and I agree. She's smart, beautiful, and has such a bright future ahead. But it's Laura who's kept us afloat these past few years. I'll be honest. She's our gold mine. That trucking job pays better than anything we've had in years. Still, we have to think long term. Jessica is our bloodline. Her future comes first. The money Laura sends, it's better used building Jessica's life. Med school wasn't going to work out anyway. Love, Miriam. My hands trembled. The words blurred, swam, rearranged in my mind until they settled into one cold truth. I wasn't family. I was funding. Everything clicked. Every deflection, every lie, every forced thank you card. I was never supposed to get anything back. The plan was always to use me until I broke. They didn't just steal my money. They stole my future with full awareness and zero shame. I called my aunt. She picked up on the second ring. Laura, sweetie, how are you? I didn't waste time. Did Mom ever mention how they planned to pay me back? A long silence. Then, quietly, Laura, they told me the insurance was a nightmare, that you were helping with what it wouldn't cover. I offered to help. Miriam told me not to interfere, that you wanted to be the provider. I sent her the screenshots, the insurance statements, the wedding dress, the damn yoga retreat in Sedona. She gasped. Oh my God, Laura, I didn't know. Neither had I. Not really. Until now. I sat in my truck, the letters shaking in my lap. The betrayal hit harder than the caffeine crash from 3 truck stop coffees. And then something inside me stilled. This wasn't just about pain anymore. It was about truth. So I opened Facebook. I started typing. For 3 years, I've sent every spare dollar to my family, thinking I was saving my father's life. I dropped out of school, lived in a truck, skipped meals, and ignored my own dreams, all to help them. But it was a lie. Screenshot of insurance statement. $0 patient responsibility. Photo of Jessica's $5,600 dress captioned, "Thanks, Mom and Dad." Copy of Mom's letter. "Laura is our gold mine. Jessica's future comes first." Bank transfer history. $128,000 labeled family support. They said they couldn't afford groceries, but they flew to Vegas. They said Dad was dying. He was on a beach in Florida. They said they loved me. But they spent my sacrifices on champagne and designer heels. I don't want pity. I want the truth to be known. Because I'm done hiding, and I'm done being their ATM. Family fraud. I'm not your gold mine. Truth hurts. I hit post. It was instant. First a like, then a comment, then dozens, then hundreds. Old high school friends, former neighbors, truckers I'd met on the road. This is disgusting. I'm so sorry, Laura. You were always the strong one. They didn't deserve you. I used to think Jessica was so classy. Not anymore. I watched the post spread like wildfire. Shares, screenshots, duets. Some tagged Jessica's fiancé. Others tagged the local news. One trucker I barely remembered messaged me. They picked the wrong woman to mess with. I didn't hear from them right away. Just silence. Then, chaos. A voicemail from Dad, voice shaky and furious. "Laura, take that post down. You're destroying this family." I saved it. A text from Mom. "I can't believe you'd do this to us. You need help." I sent her back a thumbs up emoji. Jessica tried last. A DM. "You psycho. My engagement's ruined because of you. I hope you're happy." I left her on read by the weekend. Jessica's fiancé called off the wedding. His sister had seen the Facebook post and confronted him with it. If she'll do that to her own sister, what would she do to you? Dad's company placed him on administrative leave pending ethical concerns about his medical leave fraud. Mom's yoga friends blocked her from the group chat. One of them sent me a message. She showed us off like trophies. I had no idea what she was hiding. The church revoked their volunteer roles until further notice. They'd spent years crafting an image of sacrifice, grace, and strength. In 4 days, it shattered. A girl named Tanya messaged me. We'd shared a dorm wall back in college. She said, "I always wondered why you left. I thought maybe you weren't cut out for med school." Reading this? God, Laura, you were surviving. And you still are. Thank you for speaking out. You made me feel less alone. I stared at that message for a long time. Because for 3 years, I thought survival meant staying quiet. But maybe surviving meant telling the truth. Even when it hurts. After the fallout, people started asking me what was next. I didn't know how to answer at first. The dream of med school felt dusty, like an old sweatshirt in the back of a closet. But then I looked at that acceptance email again. June 1st. I opened my laptop, logged into the financial aid portal, and uploaded the insurance documents, tax returns, bank statements. I wrote an essay about resilience and betrayal. 2 weeks later, I got the call. "Congratulations, Ms. Thomas. Your grant has been approved." They don't know I'm renting a little apartment 2 blocks from campus, that I bought a white coat secondhand and still feel butterflies every time I put it on. They don't know I still have their numbers blocked, or that I sleep better now, or that I smile when I fuel up the truck and drive past Vegas billboards, because I wasn't the problem. I was the engine. They were just passengers. And now, I'm finally in the driver's seat. It took one phone call to seal the deal. A woman from my dad's insurance company reached out, her voice crisp and polite, but laced with something heavier. Pity, maybe, or anger. She said they'd seen the viral Facebook post, that someone on her team had flagged it and pulled the old files. "Just confirming for your records," she said. "Your father's surgery and follow-up treatments were fully covered under the family policy. No out-of-pocket expenses were filed." My heart thudded in my chest. "Since when?" I asked, though I already knew. She paused. "Coverage approved, nearly a year ago, January 14th. That was 3 days before I wired them $3,700 for what Mom called a hospital deposit." I thanked her, hung up, and sat in silence for a long time. My breath caught between a sob and a laugh, not because it was funny, but because I finally had proof that I wasn't crazy. They didn't just manipulate me, they planned it. They took advantage of my love and spun it into an ATM PIN code. But now the machine was unplugged. The first real crack came from Jessica's side of the fence. Her fiancé's mother, one of those socialite types who cares more about scandal than sin, posted on her Facebook, "Can't believe my future daughter-in-law scammed her own sister for a dress. No wedding built on lies lasts." That post got more traction than mine. Jessica tried to do damage control, deleted her socials, claimed I was bipolar in a Reddit thread someone sent me. But the receipts were already out there. And when her best friends found out that their bachelorette trip to Napa was funded by my emergency cash, they cut her off fast. One of them even DM'd me. "I'm so sorry. We had no idea. She always said you were just dramatic and selfish." Yeah, that narrative didn't age well. Then came Dad's reckoning. His company opened an internal investigation, medical leave, travel receipts, doctor's records. And when they found out he'd used recovery time to attend pool parties in Palm Springs and fly to Vegas for concerts, he was fired. Officially, misuse of employee benefits and violation of trust. Unofficially, you lied and we caught you. I didn't celebrate. I didn't cheer. But I did sleep better that night. I stopped waking up in panic sweats, wondering if I was the villain in my own story. I wasn't. They were just damn good at making me think I was. Grad school was next. Jessica had planned to start an MFA program in the fall. Turns out her financial aid was contingent on family contributions and proof of stable income. When she tried to file her own FAFSA, she realized she had no income, no savings, and her name was tied to 3 joint accounts that had been drained for spa weekends and monogrammed bridal robes. She emailed me, begged me, to clarify things with the school board. I never responded. Let her build her future from scratch like I had to. June 1st arrived. I didn't sleep the night before. I sat on the floor of my tiny studio apartment, surrounded by stacks of used textbooks and course outlines. My palms were sweaty, my chest tight. I kept thinking I was going to mess it all up, that someone would email me and say it was a mistake, that I didn't belong here. But the email never came. I walked onto campus in jeans and a secondhand lab coat, my name stitched slightly crooked on the pocket. My backpack was too big, my boots too scuffed. But I was there, not in a truck, not on a mattress in the back of a cab, not hunched over a phone transferring money I'd never see again. I was here, learning, breathing, beginning again. And for the first time, I felt like I was exactly where I was supposed to be. People say family is everything, but sometimes family is just another word for people who expect you to bleed for them without ever offering a bandage in return. I used to think love was sacrifice. Now I know. It's balance. It's respect. It's knowing the difference between generosity and manipulation. Because helping people? That's a beautiful thing. But if your kindness is just someone else's debit card with your name on it, it's time to cancel the account. So to anyone out there feeling like an ATM with a heartbeat, take your power back. You're not selfish for setting boundaries. You're not cruel for saying enough. And you sure as hell aren't weak for walking away. Have you ever felt used by someone you trusted? Share your story in the comments. I read every single one. And don't forget to subscribe. More stories of strength, truth, and justice are coming soon.